What's up, YouTube? So today's topic, I'm gonna talk about the reason why I feel like dismissive avoidance personality types. These types of people are cowardly. So let's get to it. So when it comes to love connections and romance connections, there's three different types of attachment styles. There's a dismissive avoidant attachment style. There's a anxious occupied. I forgot what it's called. A anxious preoccupied attachment style, and there's a secured attachment style. So the anxious attachment style, that's when someone's very anxious. They're very clingy. Um, they have a lot of abandonment wounds, just like the dismissive avoidance, but the dismissive avoidance has it differently and stuff like that. And yeah, so and the secured attachment style, they're not anxious, and they don't have as much abandonment issues or rejection issues, or most likely they're raised at a much functional, healthy family. Dismissive avoidance and anxious attachment styles, these two types of people were born into very chaotic, dysfunctional, abusive families to where they weren't nurtured properly, but they both express in different ways. The dismissive avoidant, they express in ways to where they'll run away, they'll block their emotions, they'll cut you off, and stuff like that. The anxious person, they'll do the opposites where they'll cling on to you, they'll people please and stuff like that. While the dismissive avoidance, they will pretty much um be self-focused, so they could block their emotions, not focus on their emotions, and they'll find any excuse and delusional scenario for them to distance themselves from people. I'm not gonna go too much into detail. There's a lot of videos about it, but let's get to it. So, because when I make videos, my videos for people who are pretty much spiritually aware and they're very intelligent, pretty much. So I don't want to explain. I'm tired of explaining basic shit. So let's get to it. So because that's not my channel is not about basic shit. My channel is about advanced shit. So this is why not too many people really understand or grasp my channel, because I talk about very like the subjects and topics like I talk about is pretty much I'm ahead of my timeline pretty much. So let's get to it. So pretty much mm, so I feel like dismissive avoidance personality disorders, these types of people are very cowardly because compared to the other attachment styles, they're the most narcissistic. They're the most sinister, they're the most evil, not evil, but they're the most cowardly types of people, because they're very similar to narcissists with dismissive avoidance. They'll find any situation, any excuse, any delusion to where even if they gotta like find excuses or make up delusional scenarios for them to leave the connection, to ghost somebody, to so they could justify their behaviors, so they don't have to like so it would justify their fucked up behaviors like ghosting people, blocking them out of nowhere, not being too attached, keeping people confused, not willing to give that person closure, clarity, or accountability, because they can't get that same shit to themselves, because they're disconnected with themselves. This is why they're the dismissive avoidance, and this is why they always gotta find different ways and external things to for them to focus on, so they don't have to focus on their emotions. So this is why usually with dismissive avoidance, they're very career focused, when it comes to their career, their job, their hobbies, their online careers, just not just careers, any hobby they do that they're very good at, is because they have no choice but to focus on that, because they don't want to deal with themselves, they don't want to deal with their emotions, so they put a lot of energy into that shit pretty much. um but yeah, but with my experience with these types of people, they'll always end up ghosting you, blocking you, not taking accountability, not giving you the proper closure, and they'll keep you stuck. It's very similar to how narcissists do and stuff, but with dismissive avoidance, they're operating off of trauma, and they're too weak to face themselves, and they're too fucking stupid. With narcissists, they are also traumatized as well, but they're spiritually ruled by a demonic entity pretty much. So most narcissists operate off of a negative energy. This is why they all do the same shit. But anyways, yeah, but with dismissive avoidance, they're not good people, because they don't because they have a lot of skeletons in their closets, because if they're ghosting you, if they're blocking you, if they're not giving you accountability, best believe they're doing that same shit to other people as well. You know what I'm saying? So, um, There definitely are. So it's not just you, and it's confusing because like 1 minute like they're into you, the connection was good, but then and out of nowhere, after a conflict or an argument, when it requires them to dive deep into their emotions and to reflect, they won't do it. Either they won't look at themselves and blame you, or they'll just completely dodge accountability, block you, ghost you, or trying to flip the script onto you, then try to argue with you and point you as a finger. I mean, then they'll point the finger at you, and then they'll just block and discard you pretty much. So that's very cowardly, and that's not how you should live life, because you could burn a lot of bridges like that, and eventually all that karmic energy, it will come down and bite these types of people in the ass in the long run, because karma never misses people. Because if they keep perpetuating that energy of ghosting people, blocking people, not giving them closure like that, yeah, that energy, it is gonna come back to them one way or another. Whether it's gonna catch up to them once they hit their old age, and they're lonely, they can't attract certain people they want because they keep ghosting people that are good for them, they keep blocking them simply because they're too much of a bitch to face themselves like that. Then yeah, then of course they're not gonna have the last laugh. Like, it's gonna hit them hard in the long run. If you keep ghosting people, blocking people, not giving people like not taking accountability, not giving people a closure, yeah, the energy is gonna come back and get you pretty much. That's not righteous fucking energy. You're dealing with human beings. Karma is the real thing. Fucking spirituality, life, this is a real fucking thing. So eventually, yeah, it is gonna catch up to dismissive avoidance, pretty much. The only reason why it doesn't seem like it is because they're so focused on their career, and they'll never display their failures, their losses, or their karma onto onto and onto the public, pretty much. And they won't. Why am I keep losing my words for some reason. They're not going to showcase, they're not going to publicize their failures, their losses, their karma, and them hitting rock bottom. They're not going to show it on social media. They're not going to share it to the world. You know what I'm saying? So it may seem like they're doing better after they discarded you, after they ghosted you and blocked you, but they're not. And if you see them like, if you see their career taking off, their hobby taking off, or like they're getting a lot more views, like subscribers, or they're making more money, or like even if they're in a new connection or in a new relationship, it doesn't matter, because all of these things are very shallow, and they're only doing it to use it as an escape for they use it as an escape from themselves and towards you as well. Not just you, but other people, because they got so many skeletons in their closet, so they do the same shit to a lot of people. So it makes sense that they're always finding external things for them to focus on, so they don't have to deal with themselves and other people, because it's emotionally overwhelming for them, pretty much. So if you see them like showcasing their successes and like all the things that's going well for them, it's just an illusion. Either karma's going to catch up to them in the long run, or all the things they have that are quote unquote good, that looks good on paper, is not off a stable foundation, so eventually it's going to crash down, because they keep playing with life pretty much, and they keep taking people's energy, and they're not living life morally correct. So yeah, it makes sense how all this shit eventually is gonna die down pretty much. So that's all I gotta say. Have a good one. Dismissive avoidants are cowards. They're very a dismissive avoidant attachment style is a very cowardly fucking attachment style. Very cowardly, very weak, and karma. Best believe karma does get these types of people. So that's all I gotta say. Have a good one. Peace.